Compliment of the season to every fashion designer, every tailor, every dressmaker out there. You guys, you understand that the season has begun for us. So compliment of the season once again to everyone out there, doing their best to make sure that they give their clients and every other person, the best look that they can give. So guys, with that being said, you're welcome to yet another tutorial video. If you're new here, you are most welcome. My name is Chinyere for short. And if you're a returning subscriber, thanks for always coming back. And without further ado, guys, let's dive into the process of making an illusion wrapper dress. I'm going to show us how to achieve an illusion wrapper dress from start to finish. If this video is the one you're interested in, please sit right back, relax, and enjoy watching. This is the lower part of the dress already marked out. Just in case you don't know how I came about that, I wanted to skip this particular step, but just for the sake of those of you that might not know how I came up with this, let me show you what I did. So this is a full length wrap dress like we already know. So I marked out the lower part of the dress by taking out the upper part of the dress, that is from the shoulder to the half waist length, which is 16.5. So I took that out. So the leftover of the length I marked from this point down to the dress length plus the seam allowance. Okay, so from the waist area I placed my tape rule on the half waist length. Let me pull this back. So I placed my tape rule at the half waist length to get the hip line, and here is the hip line plus half an inch, and that's basically all that I need to get for the vertical measurement. And then for the waist circumference measurement, I divided the waist by 4 and then add my that allowance and then the seam allowance. And then coming over to the hip, I divided the hip by 4 plus seam allowance, and that's basically how I came about this shaping at this point. Let's cut out the front lower part of this dress. I'm going to be using this to cut the back. So having placed the front on the back for cut out, I'm going to be leaving about 1 to 1.5 zipper allowance for the back. So you can see from here to here I have about 1 to 1.5 zipper allowance. You can use 1 inch, you can use 1.5. So I'm just going to be cutting exactly what I have here. The only difference is just the zipper allowance that I added to the back. I'm going to be dividing this into 2. That's for the back. And this is what I'm going to be using for the wrap area of the dress. Next, I get the front parts of the dress and then I open it up this way. And then I get this one I'm going to be using for the wrap. So for this dress, what we want to achieve is for the dress to have like a proper wrapper looking effect at the front area, but it's a dress by the time you turn to the back side of the dress. So we want it to have that typical wrapper look, as if it was tied. For the wrapper, we know that the wrapper always falls to the left side of the dress, right? So this is going to be, by the time we place it on the body, this is going to be the left side of the dress, and then this is the right side, and this left side is where we want the wrapper to fall towards. Okay, so I get this and I place it on it like so. So I pull it towards the left area. Before I do that, I'm going to mark out where I want the length of the wrapper to stop, and then from the lower part I mark out 15 inches. If you like, you can use lesser than that. I can also use 13 or 14 because we want it to have that typical wrapper look, not the very short one that always covers just the tummy and the hip area. No, we want to give it that typical wrap look. So you can mark from the tip of your skirt. You can come out by 15, 14, 13 inches. So whichever look that gives you what you want, then just go with it. So I'm going to be using, let's say, 14 inches at this point. So from the tip of the dress, I mark 14 inches. So I pull it backward and then I place this one on it like so. So I'm going to be placing the tip of this one on that 14 inches mark, and I hold it down with the help of an office pin to make sure that the tip of the wrapper touches the hip area. So thereby at the lower part and then the waist side, you're going to be having some excess outward, which are going to be trimming up. Okay, so coming to the waist area, before I pin it down, I'm going to be taking out, can you see, I'm going to be leaving out about 4 to 5 inches at the upper part, and this is going to serve the purpose of covering the joining between the upper and the lower dress. So I leave out that 5 to 6 inches and then I hold it down as well, and then I pin it down. So I'm going to be working with this excess that I have left here. So we know that for our wrappers, we always have it draped at the upper part more than the lower part. Okay, so I start the draping at the upper side like so. That's at the right side of the dress. I just start slowly, by forming the drape. You know that mostly for wrappers, the draping covers mostly the tummy area of the dress. So you do that and then you hold them down with your pin. You're going to be using as many pins as possible to do this, just in case you do not want to, drape directly on your sewing machine. So you do this. So now that we're done draping on this right side, you can see that here is looking straight. That's the essence. So for this upper part as well, you make sure you leave enough excess here, because we want to have it more draped on this part. So you pull, you can see you leave it slanted like so. So while you pull, just make sure that the skirt part is not going with you. Make sure the skirt part is as flat as possible. So you pull it up depending on the length you want it to have at this other side. Some people make it, as long as this. Some people make it shorter. So depending on the look you want to achieve. I want it to have a shorter look at this point. So as I pull, the skirt part is pulling with me. So while I pull, I just hold it down somewhere here, and then I continue. So at this part, at this waist area, I'm going to be leaving, a whole lot at the upper part, okay, because it's going to cover even the upper, that's the blouse part of the dress, that is going to be covering as well. So I make sure I leave enough excess at the upper part so that it covers the blouse part of the dress as well. So I have that. So I think this length is fine. I'm okay with this length. So I can now hold them down with the help of a pin. And if you are holding, please give yourself like at most 2 inches allowance from the skirt before you hold, so that by the time you are turning with the lining and everything, the wrapper itself is not, acting as a hindrance to anything. So you bring your hand in by, say, 2 inches before you start holding it down with your pin. I have more here. So you just arrange while you drape. See the much I left at the upper part before I start pinning it down. So here we have, the wrap effect on the dress. We have it sorted out. We do not want the pleats to be regular because it's a wrapper, so we don't want it to have that artificial look. So this is the excess we have at the upper part, so that it can take care of the upper, that's the blouse area of the dress. So this is it. So this is what the wrapper looks like. So at this point, let me join it to the upper part of the dress and then show us the final look of this dress. See you guys there. And here is what it looks like, guys. So this is what we have after I'm done stitching both the upper part and the lower part and every other pieces of the garment together. So this is what we have, and here is what it looks like, guys. So guys, please, thanks for watching. Give this video a like if you enjoyed watching this video, and please do not forget to put up your notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload interesting videos just like this one. See you right in my next video. Bye.